the night, Kathy?
That'll be,
Is that nice? Say this time. Did you put us together?
That was Erica's. She was actually putting it.
She didn't come with us.
I was curious.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, it's just that.
The directions behind it.
The bills list was heavy.
You said extra.
The road, the last minute, just added on.
This one's for you.
Is that on that correct? Yeah.
This must have been That's number 5.
Number 6. Right, 5.
Right.
Who is it? D. Rocco.
This page here. This does not.
I'm here.
Let's
go.
Thanks, Harry. Where's Sarah?
We came in different cars. I had to pick up something for the election.
Did she get lost?
No, not likely. Might have gotten distracted.
Okay.
No, that capital fund,
Yeah.
that includes the sewer. Sanitary.
That's it. How do they get, they have to,
Yeah, there's a ladder up there.
Sewer ceremony.
yeah, but it's not like yours.
Anyway, it's not. Peachy.
Hey, Kathleen.
Yes.
So, I'm making a motion to approve $338,000 for the Rocco.
Yes.
Is it, it's not on the bills list, right? It's just for
Stare at this.
Did you add that to the bills list?
What's
the
that?
Rocco, the 300.
Oh, it's on there.
I have 89,000.
Half of it's reimbursable.
Oh, is it?
It's
Oh, okay.
bills.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Check on the reimbursable.
Yeah, I will.
It should be on there.
Yep. Okay. Ready?
Well, let's wait for John to sit down.
Okay.
This?
You all set, John?
This is actually.
Folks, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know what you're talking about, and I know where it is. Stare at it.
Just call the meeting to order, and there were handouts in the back. If anybody didn't get one, that would be a good time. First order of business is to announce we have an executive session at 6 o'clock tonight to discuss real estate. It was about it was about open space.
Okay, thank you.
The second order of business is to approve the minutes from the October 15th, 2018 meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from October 15, 2018 as submitted.
Is there a second?
A second motion.
Pull that closer to the mic before I get yelled at by Brian. Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is the approval of the bills list. Tonight's township bills list is $203,300.72. The reimbursable bills list is $259,867.79. And the subdivision utility plant bills list is $17,377.38. All three total $480,545.89.
I move to approve the bills list dated November 5th, 2018, total amount of $480,545.89.
Second motion.
Any comments from the audience? Yes.
just had a question. I saw trail cams on here. Are they going to be used on trails, or maybe I missed the discussion on that before, but what are they for?
There wasn't,
I know what it's for.
go ahead.
Those were purchased because when the bridge was out, the Hollow Road Bridge, the people were walking across it and shouldn't have been. And there were some problems at Bryn Coed with people trespassing. So they purchased those trail cams and put them up so that we could see if there was anybody, taking advantage on the property, yeah.
Any other questions? Harry?
Did you see any interesting critters?
They didn't share those pictures with us.
No.
Okay, when you have those, sometimes you get.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is just an announcement for our correspondence that we got from Mainline Animal Rescue, thanking our police department, including Ruth, the secretary, for all their help during their recent event in Birchville. And next is the budget presentation for 2019. Have you met Michelle, our bookkeeper? She's really, really happy to be here, and she's not nervous at all.
And
Erica really owes you, doesn't she?
Oh, no, she has been wonderful. She really has.
So Michelle, you want to lead us through this package?
Sure, did everybody pick one up from the back? Does everyone have one of these? Because that's what I'm going to be using. Okay. So it's a work in progress right now. Our goal, the primary goal of the township budget is to set a work plan for the annual township operations and implement policies set by the Board of Supervisors. Right now, we don't anticipate any of the millage rates going up, so tax rates should remain consistent. Where we are in the budget development, the departments we've collectively prepared baseline budgets. We looked at last year's numbers. We asked the committees to submit, their budget requests. We look at everything. It's reviewed and analyzed by us, the staff, as well as the Board of Supervisors. It's kind of where we are right now. Next page, revenue assumptions. Again, we're based on property assessed valuation, which really hasn't been any changes. As far as development goes, of course, Chester Springs, Pulte is still underway. Eagle Farms, Toland and Lennar residential development is underway. Weatherstone Town Center, Phase 1 and Phase 2, the commercial plans have been approved. Transfer tax is expected to remain steady for next year as well. Real estate and earned income tax is expected to have a high positive growth. The township is not planning to borrow any additional funds for next year. The building department is projected to receive similar revenues as compared to 2018. Budgeted figures due to the consistent building and zoning activity. In the area of culture and recreation, revenues from the field and park usage as well as income from community garden plot rentals are expected to remain steady. Per PennDOT, our annual liquid fuel fund allocation is expected to remain at a similar level as in 2018. The sewer fund contains revenues associated with the Ports of Chester Springs plant only. That is one thing I want to point out. The township conveyed all township-owned sewer assets to Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, BCWSA, in April of 2018. However, the Ports of Chester Springs sewer plant is still under construction in 2018 and is anticipated to be dedicated to BCWSA in early 2019. So we still have to keep that on the budget. Anticipated expenses for government admin. Salaries and wages increased by 3% for management, union employees and police department employees. Actually, that's currently in, they're in negotiations now with the police department. Township health insurance renewal received a 6% increase, which we were pretty happy with. We thought it would be higher. So that's not too bad. General government, building and plant includes expenses for the general maintenance in township buildings and facilities. Data processing and technology similar to last year. Expenses include general computer and server maintenance, replacement of 2 computers, document retention project. That's all included in there. Engineering services account various projects including stormwater and MSR, fellowship trail, Brinco demolition planning, and other services. Other general administration costs include the usual township operating activities such as payroll, accounting, auditing, communications, office supplies, and human resources. On the next page, continuing general admin includes the legal expenses, also includes general liability and property insurance, workers' comp insurance. 5%, there was a 5% savings due to the safety committee. Community development. Community development includes the EAC committee activities. Historic commissions is now on the budget. Griffith farmhouse expenses. Culture and recreation includes the general maintenance of township parks, community garden, parks and recreation commission programs, as well as funds for the Fellowship Trail, St. Matthew's Connection Phase 2. In addition, $200,000 has been programmed for Brinco Park development. Public safety, fire, and planning zoning. Code enforcement includes building department expenses, professional services. Emergency management includes contract with emergency operations coordinator. The fire budget includes the fire company's operating contribution and workers' comp coverage. Planning and zoning expenses include efforts on comprehensive plan update as well as general code codification for ordinances. It's underway now. Police department. Their expenses would include supplies, updating of equipment, public safety software license, contracts with local agencies. It includes a replacement policeman vehicle to support the fleet status. Includes a contract with animal control officer. Includes training and professional development from staff. Public Works Department. These expenses include the expenses for staff, supplies, materials for road and vehicle maintenance, winter road supplies and maintenance, and funds for roads and bridge improvement program. Liquid fuel fund is PennDOT allocation used towards road and bridge improvement programs. I believe someone over what they thought. Open Space Fund, special revenue open space fund includes funds for the demolition of buildings at the Township and Brinco Park, our debt service, as well as other open space programs. Sewer fund, township authoritative funds include expenses associated with contracted operations and general maintenance for Courts of Chester Springs only. Anticipated dedication of this plant to Bucks County Sewer and Water Authority is set for early 2019 so far. In the proposed 2019 budget, the township has created a new capital fund to account for the planned road and bridge improvement program to be funded through the township sewer sale proceeds. The fund reflects $1,500,000 in expenditures to account for projects including Janie Lane Road and culvert improvements, Pemberton Road paving and drainage improvements, and Schoolhouse Lane Phase 2 paving and draining improvements. Additionally, the fund accounts for survey and land design needed for the replacement of Buttonwood Bridge, as well as legal and engineering related to all aforementioned projects. On the next slide, you'll see the mission, the township mission of the budget. And on the next slide, you would see the proposed 2019 fund budget amounts and where to send any questions or comments.
Of course. Some comment, it's a budget, but there's no expenditures, basically. And I noticed on the proposed budget page, there's 4 lines of income and 1 line of expenditure, and they're all added together to make all income.
Well,
Shouldn't that be a minus?
no, we haven't,
There's no expenses.
yeah.
There's no expenses on here.
Okay, if you
Yeah.
go read the capital fund, it
Right,
says
got
these are
general.
the expenditures for roads, highways, etc.
No, that's just,
Oh,
that's,
never mind.
this is just a budget overview of what you're going to be seeing in the next meeting. What's gonna be proposed, what is included on each, for each fund, for each expense account.
Okay, within the general fund budget, normally there's a highways expenditures, which is normally about $1 million.
We haven't itemized any of that yet.
John, if I could, there's a line item budget that has a draft budget, I'll call it, that was done last week, and it's awaiting the 3 supervisors' comments.
It's still working.
Unfortunately, and another thing that I forgot to do is to mention, there's a reason Erica isn't here. She had delivered a baby Saturday, so we have to get our comments to her, and it'll be sent out and put on the website as a draft form on a line item budget, which I believe is what you're looking for.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
that would be, I would be looking for that, but I just say, it says the capital fund is the expenditures for roads, but it puts it on the revenue line. And I think maybe it is expenditure for roads.
This almost seems like a balance sheet.
Pardon
these
me?
are
This
just
seems like
fund-
a
this is
revenue
fund
balance.
Yeah, it's
Revenue balances.
just a
Okay.
fund balance, proposed fund balance.
Are you looking at this page, John? The last page?
Page
I
9.
look at this last page,
Yeah.
and the capital fund, which said it was the expenditures for highways, roads, etc.
Now,
It
that one,
doesn't
I-
say it's the income from,
the
and
capital.
it's not income from anything. As a matter of
That's-
fact, it was recognized as income in the year 2018, when there was $4 million of income. And so to say, well, we had $4 million last year, and we have $1.1 million, $1.5 million this year, that totals up to $5.5 million, and you can't.
That, I
Let me
believe
ask you a
that $4
question.
million was not on the budget in 2018.
No, but let me just ask you one simple question. That's 7,589,000.
Yes,
In the detailed budget, is that the total expenses also?
that is all funds, should be.
No.
In-
Okay.
In what?
I guess what I'm saying is you have 7,589,000 at the bottom, right?
Okay.
And that's, what is the total expenses for the year budgeted? Do you have any idea? Because I don't have it with me.
Yeah, hang on a minute. In which general fund? Or total?
Total
fund.
I don't have a adding.
Okay, we'll have a general fund then.
General fund.
Okay. I believe it matches.
I think the difference was 30,000.
Not on the updated one.
Okay.
Yeah, total expenses in the general fund are 4,283,000.
There you go, okay.
So
Okay,
This is based, I mean, each one will
just-
have the same expenses that shows here. General fund will have a total revenue of 4,283,000 and a total expenses of 4,283,000. They balance. So each one, the capital fund will have the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's really not
Are we gonna have a brand
revenue.
new fund?
We have a brand new fund,
We do
which we
have
took
a-
sewer money in that, well, it's not brand new, actually. I guess we named it new, but we did have a reserve fund balance before last year.
Yes.
We just added, I forget how much, 700 some thousand to it, to get up to
Right.
the 1.5, okay.
And will there be any income in that fund?
The
I
capital
don't
fund, no.
Pardon?
believe so.
No income.
Except for the
Interest
transfer.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Interest
it was
But that
income.
transfer of
And
income,
interest income, of
the
course,
transfer was income this year.
in 2018.
So we
right?
shouldn't have that income twice 2 years in a row.
No, it's
No, it
not
won't.
gonna be showing.
So, Okay, so the general fund expenses are 4 million too,
Mhm.
and somewhere there are gonna be roads outside of the general expenditures,
In the
which
capital
normally would have
fund,
been
right.
inside the general expenditures.
That's correct, it's now gonna be outside.
Right.
In the capital fund.
Right.
But okay, it'll be interesting to see if the general fund highway budget is still $1 million more.
No, it's not, it's under $1 million.
Or $1 million or something.
Yeah, no, it's.
But it doesn't include some of this other stuff that's in the capital fund, correct? Am I right? Some expenses, is there any expenses on the capital fund?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe
okay.
so, yeah. They have,
It'll all make sense when you get the full budget.
yeah, it's showing a net income on the capital fund of 100,000.
Okay.
That, again, could change, we're
Right.
not sure about that yet. But yes, and as far as road in the general fund,
It's 9 something.
I'm finding this pretty confusing. So you have the road expenses in two different line items of the budget.
No.
Is that, it sounded like some of it was in the general fund and some of it was the capital fund.
Yes. Projects are in the capital fund.
Okay,
But big
and so the road
projects.
budget, Michelle just said, was 1.1 million, but you've got a whole other
No.
1.5 million dedicated towards it, so that sounds like 2.6.
Is it what, I thought it was 900 and some thousand for public works, no? Am I wrong?
for public works in the general fund, it's 909,000.
Yeah, that's right, okay.
Yeah, but that, again, that includes a possible proposed roadmaster position,
Right.
which is a big change.
What is missing tonight is the line item budget by category.
That is not, yeah, that's
Right,
not
but
ready yet.
but it's still pretty confusing if you say the roads are 990,000, but we're gonna spend this other 1.5 million on roads. So
Right,
I think
that's
they should
right.
be under roads together and add up to,
Well, because these are big
2.4.
projects, we separated it and
Yeah,
made
you
it into the capital
can't pay
fund.
for wages with,
all right, so you have different lines in
We
your
do.
budget.
We
But in a overview for residents about where the money's going, it's going to roads. And
Yeah.
so, but you're taking it out of different funds. Does this open space number indicate that you plan to deplete the open space fund this year?
No.
I don't believe so. No,
So there will be a fund balance at the end of the year?
yes.
That $200,000 for additional improvements at Rincoed Farm Park, will that be, what fund will that be coming from?
Depends what it's for, I think.
Yeah,
Well, but it's in your budget now as an improvement, so that's why I'm asking. You presented it to us.
No, the draft budget hasn't been brought to you.
Yeah, nothing's approved yet.
But you-
what were you asking again, I'm sorry?
The
What fund
200,000.
would that 200,000 for improvements at the Rincoed Park come from?
Yeah, I think it would depend on what it's,
Yeah.
what it's for.
Okay.
I can look into that and I can definitely get back to you.
Okay, and on the sewer fund, the anticipated dedication of the plant from Ports at Chester Springs, have we already been paid for that, or will that be an additional funds coming from Bucks County to pay for that sewage plant?
It's already been
It's already
paid,
been
we're
paid.
waiting for the dedication.
All right, so
Yes.
we've already been paid for it, we won't get additional.
Yes.
Will there be additional reserve funds coming in from that?
Yes, I believe so.
Do they have a reserve fund?
They do, it's
Yes, a
not
little bit,
much,
yeah.
it's not much, but I mean, we still are, I believe managing, we pay for some of the there are some expenses that we are paying for. We pay Pulte, the builder, a portion of what we collect. But we're still making money off of that, we're not losing anything.
Okay, my other question was on the public safety, fire planning and zoning. Planning and zoning expenses include efforts on comprehensive plan update as well as the codification. Is that the Phoenixville Regional Comprehensive Plan, or is there some other?
I think it's Phoenixville.
Yes, we get billed monthly.
Yeah, I understand, I just wanted to, because the Landscapes 3 might cause us to relook our ordinance as well, so thank you.
Brian, you're next after John.
But that,
No, John, you're up already, go ahead.
yes. One more comment, you call this a capital fund, and it's really no more capital than any other highway expenditure. It's sort of got a false name to it that would imply something that it isn't.
Special projects fund.
Okay, but it's
Yeah,
an
I know.
expense like everybody else.
I know.
I'm gonna try to avoid semantic issues. This year, our legal expenses were very upside down, way over what budget was. Michelle, can you, off the top of your head, tell us whether legal expenses next year will say drop below 100,000? Do you remember what the
I
number
don't
is
think
in?
so.
What's that again?
I don't think so. I think it would depend too.
I'm looking at just what the budget numbers are, because we can always go sideways on these.
I know that we have created a line for, we're gonna try to separate legal expenses that are specifically for the road program versus township expenses. We're just trying to separate it to show
Okay,
where it's going.
But overall, do we kind of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
I
there's
don't
a
think
chance. I do think there's a chance, because we had some pretty big numbers this year.
This year,
Expenses.
legal, the sewer bills just ate
Quite
us alive.
The
possibly,
sewer
but I
did,
know
and also
Erica-
Dewey, I think.
Dewey hasn't,
And
but
there's
it's
one other,
not.
Bridco Ed, right.
Well, and we had all the concert expenses too,
Right.
which,
We had some special things that we don't normally have.
yeah,
So I would hope
I would hope so.
that it
but
would
I
definitely be
don't-
lower next year.
Yeah, I can
Well, I
definitely,
realize, legal expenses has been kind of a touchy subject for years here.
oh, yeah.
And, that's why I was kind of, do we kind of hope that it'll go and drop down to, close to budget? And maybe even
Below
$1,000. Okay, thank you.
By the way, on that, Brian,
Right.
by the next meeting, we definitely should have up and public line item budget. It won't be adopted because we won't have a chance to adopt it until after that date, but.
Yeah, there's a time sequence in there. And yes, I'm curious, I was asking in advance of when the line item budget comes out. When it comes out, I'll definitely take a look at there. I just, wondering whether you knew, et cetera, and expectations. Big picture as opposed to specific lines. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a question on the liquid fuels fund. Is that $250,000 an annual allocation to us, or is that an accrued amount in that fund?
It's an annual allocation.
Okay, and how's it used? Is it for road use?
It can only be used for specific things in the road, like,
Actually, almost all of it was used just on this last bills list for schoolhouse.
And,
Right.
yeah, schoolhouse and, what was the?
Yeah, school.
they
Flint
not
Road.
only
Flint.
have rules, but you get audited on that, I think, every 3 years.
Okay, great, thanks.
Jim, would you state your address for the record?
Oh, Jim Berge, 1433 Birch Run Road, Chester Springs.
Any other questions? Thank you, and you're still alive, nobody's.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, very good job.
Okay, next on the list is the request for an extension of subdivision by 16-year LLC.
I move to approve the extension request for 16 years.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll vote. I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is a payment request under new business for paving work done on Schoolhouse Lane and Flint Road.
I make the motion to authorize payment number 1 in the amount of $338,365.90 to the Rockville Brothers Inc. for the paving work completed on Schoolhouse Lane and Flint Road.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none. Any comments from the gentlemen? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
And this one I'm gonna need a little help with, but the document scanning project quote review, and I didn't quite understand what was in our package.
That one, Erica just wanted you to look and see the numbers. We got quotes from the 3 different companies, and we noticed that there was a big big difference between one there by quite a few $1,000s.
So for the audience, we got 3 bids, one for 11,500 and change, another one for 26,000 change, another one for 17,700 and change. And this is to copy,
It's for
scan,
scanning.
and computerize everything.
Right. And it's supposed to be a comparison, apples to apples. So they had the exact same amount, numbers, 80 boxes, and it's only for our parcels and our subdivision files. And so these were the differences in the prices. I mean, it was quite a difference.
And did you meet with all 3?
Yes, we did.
And did they
And-
understand what they were bidding on?
Yes, and the Scantech, the very first one, that is the one and Erica talked about that one too. He was very professional, knew exactly what we were talking about, and was very helpful, forthcoming. The other 2, not as much. They had a lot more questions.
I mean, did Erica and yourself feel confident with Scantech and their understanding of what had to be done?
Yeah, and we also had Jason in with us too.
Okay.
And between the 3 of us, we all liked Scantech the best.
Okay, but we don't have a motion.
But we don't have a motion yet. Erica just wanted you to see these figures. And more or less discuss it
Okay.
amongst yourselves. And I do have the paperwork,
Okay.
that you can
There's
look at.
on the top, there's an asterisk that says CoStar's vendor, and I don't see any corresponding asterisk.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them are, okay. So you brought it to our attention, put it on the agenda for next,
For a vote?
For a vote, okay.
Only took 2 years.
yes, George.
So what's the scope of what they're bidding on?
Oh, we didn't say that? It's 40, let's see.
It said 80 boxes.
They're gonna pick up the boxes, they're gonna label document preparation, scanning, indexing, and integration to Laserfish file,
Our Laserfish system.
And then what?
We mean,
Well, we're gonna have, are these gonna be available publicly or?
no, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, so you wanna get it into.
We just want to get it out of the
And
cabinets.
And then everything, there's a plan, I assume, everything going forward will immediately,
Yes.
and that's for some kind of maintenance thing, or is that something we can
Let me
do
ask you a
here?
question. Let me ask one question. Jason's doing it now, right? He's getting digital files now.
There are some that are scanned. And
Is he scanning
it's
some?
it's very time
I think
consuming.
he's talking about any new files that
Any
are
new
created.
ones?
Yeah.
I think he does.
I think he does, but I think he
does.
started that at least.
Yeah, they get
Okay.
started and then we just add to them whenever.
Right, and then now we'll have all
But
the
now
ones
they're
in the
going
past
back.
loaded in, okay.
Yeah,
So then I guess, I assume, this will go to some cloud backup service or something, we've got that all figured out?
With the Laserfish system, yes, but then as far as getting it,
So
for
that's,
public
is
view is a little bit different.
that system something we already have a license
Yes.
for? Okay.
Well, you wouldn't want everything to be.
No, we couldn't.
No, but presumably you can get stuff almost instantaneously if somebody needs copies.
If somebody did it right to know, it'd be a lot easier to get. And also it'd be safe. If the building burns down, we don't lose
Yeah.
it.
And all these boxes are up in the attic. Have you ever been up in the attic?
Nope.
Next Halloween, you wanna go with
Bernie
me?
up there.
Maybe it'll be done by then, John.
It's something.
Oh, yeah, that's it. How long do they propose it's gonna take?
That's a good point.
actually, it will take, they were very encouraging, that they're very professional and they have people that, do each specific job.
And do they do it here?
No, they'll take it, they'll pack up the boxes, they take them to where their business is, and then they have very specific people that work with each Like they take the files, they go through everything, take all the staples out, they make sure everything is in order. Then they have another person that feeds it through the scanner to make sure everything goes through correctly. It's really interesting to see how they,
And then what's the plan for the boxes? Do we hire up some kind of cold storage or something?
That's fine, yeah, definitely off-site.
yeah, there's a
I
choice.
mean, it should
They
be
can-
cheap if you're just storing
Yes.
boxes.
Yeah,
You don't
they give us option,
they
whether
do
they.
that too?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they will either store it for us or destroy it, whichever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have to keep them. though.
Well, yeah, it depends how many years.
It depends on what
it.
it is that they're scanning, because there's those,
There's different retention rates for different
yeah, so many years for
So
certain.
would you make a note that we would need to know the time, they're looking timeframe to complete the project, all
Okay,
three vendors?
okay.
And also,
And now this is only for the subdivision and parcel files.
Right.
And I don't know if they put on their sewer files or not.
I don't see.
No.
Okay, because we had talked with them about the sewer files also at the same time.
And this is only 80 boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot more than 80
How many
boxes.
boxes?
there's a
Yeah.
lot more, yes.
What do we have total for all records?
I don't know,
Oh.
but it's every
Now,
one.
I mean, is it 10 times that amount, or 5, or
Oh
3?
my gosh.
I think, John, you're the one that took a lot of.
But I wasn't counting them.
And
I was
that's-
just going, I was looking for
Right.
specific things when I was going through them.
No, I just wonder what it's gonna cost if we do everything.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's-
You need to know
yeah.
how much everything is, I guess.
But it has to be done, George. Just
I
has to.
agree.
Yeah, Just
I
has to.
agree.
And the storage question of what happens, if we can get, even though it's not gonna be part of this, if we could just get.
Oh,
Yes,
some rates on that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they do give that option for the storage. From what they were telling us, all three of them, a lot of the municipalities are choosing to destroy a lot of the records, because it's just
Yes.
too much.
Yep, I agree.
Brian?
Okay, so this is only for the parcel and subdivision information, the stuff that Jason uses right now.
Yes.
And when we see 80 boxes, is this 80 boxes of 8.5 by 11 sheets? Or is it 80 boxes that also includes large sheet drawings?
It includes everything,
Okay,
the large sheet drawings and, you know, all the parcel files. A lot of them have the large ones folded in there, in the files, so that does include those.
well, I'm gonna go and ask the question, because you raised the question going forward. Most large sheet drawings today, done by any, developers, engineer, are all done digitally.
Yes.
And is there some reason then why that our procedures don't request them in digital form?
We
As
do.
opposed to only
Yeah.
paper?
We do.
We do, yes.
We have to do both, but yes,
Um,
we get digital too.
Yeah.
So then the files that, for subdivisions, will be available in the township in digital form for old stuff after it's scanned.
Right.
And at least some of the current stuff that you've got, there are digital files that the township has in hand.
Correct.
Correct.
And are the digital files required by procedure, or you just ask for them?
They are, in looking at the Saldo, have been reading it, and it looks to me as in the Saldo, in the subdivision land development ordinance,
Mhm.
they are required
To be in digital form?
to submit a digital format, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I think that kind of covers it, so we'll get that information up in the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Next is appoint Kathy Schillen as the right-to-know officer. Are you sure you want that position?
You wouldn't mind after it's all digitized.
Need a motion to
I
that?
move to appoint Kathy as the right-to-know officer.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments from the audience? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is to review the request from Charlie Dickinson to renew the land lease at 2695 Westover Lane.
I move to renew the land lease for the property at 2695 West River Lane.
I'll second the motion.
What this is a 3-acre parcel that's by the community garden that impacts his view shed, and he has for the last 4 years, I believe, mowed it for $3.80, I think, a year. So we were thinking about bumping it up to a whole $4.
I think you ought to pay
Yes. Anyway, there's an easement on the property, so it's tied up, so it can't be used for any other thing but mowing and trails, I believe. I think that's all I can tell you about it. There was one thing that I did notice that didn't jive. The contract calls for a $3 million liability policy as be named as an additional insured, but the certificate insurance that was part of the file only had it for $500,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well, we should probably correct that.
yeah, I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Yes. I guess $3 million sounds high to me, but if you get run over by a lawnmower, it's not enough, so. Anyway. Any comments from the audience, supervisors? No. You have a comment? How many years you'd like to have it, at least 4?
30.
As it stands now, it's a lease that it takes both parties to break, unless the term, it runs its full term. Meaning, if we wanted to end it, we couldn't end the lease without his permission until the term of the lease was up, so I
So
don't think
he pays us $3 and what was it?
80 cents, I believe.
A year.
And he's responsible for mowing it.
Yes.
So if he ever,
Yes.
so we'd have to mow it, that's all. Right. No, he'd have to pay somebody to mow it. How many years is this?
I don't know whether you're gonna sue somebody for $3.80, but
I think you just let it grow.
anyway. My point is,
Meadow-
you wouldn't want to go
Termination
30
clause,
years,
right.
and I don't care if we have a termination clause, it's not a big deal. If he doesn't mow it, then we go back to cutting our own grass.
Or you let it go to meadow, which is ecologically better.
Yes. Yes.
He does a lot
So-
of mowing.
But we need to know, the lease that's expiring is for 4 years. Do we want to re-up it for 4 years?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Good.
Then we need to redo the motion to make it a 4-year lease.
No, well, you said you authorized that contract, which was 4 years. You don't have to mention 4 years, it's in the contract, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it expires in 2014.
Okay. Oh. Okay, gotcha.
So just amend the motion to make
I
it a
amend the
4-year,
motion.
a 4-year lease expiring in July. To keep it simple, that's July of 2014.
I amend the motion.
Or, I'm sorry, I did the same thing.
Jesus.
4 years hence,
So 22.
yes.
I move to amend the land lease for the property of 2695 Westover Lane to terminate July 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Now, you got that, Ken?
I do.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Will the revenue show up in the budget?
We're setting up a special capital reserve for that account.
Just think of the legal fees, do they cover the legal fees?
Next is the roadmaster position.
I move to authorize the advertisement for the position of roadmaster.
Is there a second, Bernie?
I'll second it, but I have many questions.
Let's ask those questions then.
So, what was the genesis of this roadmaster position?
The $5 million that we're putting into the road program.
You have enough money to pay it.
So we're gonna,
Yes.
after salary and expenses, it'll be about $100,000 a year.
Well, we don't know, but fully loaded, if it's a $60,000 position, yeah, I guess it is close to 90,000 at least.
And how many years is this gonna be for? I mean, I could see,
I imagine
if
it's
we
going to
do
be
it
for a while.
the length of the capital that we have now to approve the fund. So if that was going to be expended in 3 years, that feels much more palpable than,
Well, that makes sense to me too.
rather than 10
Yes.
years.
Well, it's
So-
not, we're not signing any long-term contract.
Okay, so it's,
It's,
Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
I think what you're saying is, once the bulk of the road projects are over, unless there's something else that comes up, yes, let's pare down.
yeah, no, definitely.
um,
And I also think that it's gonna cut down on our engineering costs personally. If we get an experienced roadmaster, instead of reaching out to the engineer for every damn thing we do, we won't have to. Hopefully that will
yeah.
lower.
Have you ever
costs.
worked with a roadmaster before?
No.
I never have either,
No.
so it's kind of new to me.
Yeah.
And would that person be responsible for going after grant money and any other help from other entities?
Imagine if they're experienced, well, depending on what experience they have, they may be familiar with that, but I imagine Erica would handle all of the grants.
And
My
would they,
guess.
okay. Would they supervise our road crew?
Oh, absolutely.
That's,
And
it's a
schedule,
working,
and
it's a,
working roadmaster,
Working, okay.
you know, full-time.
Hands-on.
Yeah, hands-on,
Not just-
and he has to be
not
able
just
to,
supervisory.
has to be able to do all the, you know, run all the different types of equipment and plow. you know, all that
and
stuff.
plowing, so rather than, I mean, this is a minor thing, but rather than hiring an outfit, you know, you have one more person and one more truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions from the audience on the subject? John?
This is a full-time position, at
Yes.
60,000 a year base
No,
salary?
I just threw that out there, I have no clue what.
John?
Yeah, we don't know either.
My gut feeling, you know, PSATs, that group puts out an annual study, or actually every other year study on salaries. And as best I could determine, a township in our size, on the high side is $50,000 to $70,000 base salary plus benefits. So you're looking at, if it's 70, you're looking at 90,000, 95,000 for fully loaded.
For the cost.
Yeah.
And he'll be full-time, and then you say he'll have a truck, probably?
But what?
A truck, or a vehicle provided by the township?
Not by this supervisor anyway, if I get
You
it.
haven't gotten that far?
No,
How many trucks do we have for plowing?
No, but John's talking about a work truck that gets him to.
Oh, well,
He's
no,
gonna be
no,
out on the
no.
road all the time,
Oh, okay.
presumably.
Yeah,
And that would entitle him to be provided a truck.
well, I'm guessing it's gonna, he's gonna be entitled to, or will he be entitled to the mileage then?
Of course he would, if he used
It's
his
a
own vehicle.
vehicle, right.
That's a good question, John, but we do have an extra truck out there that's used.
Okay.
Tara?
So when you were answering Bernie's questions, you sounded like you were thinking this is a full-time job, but it might be a term hire.
Well, like Bernie brought up a good point. So you hire somebody because we're gonna be doing a lot of road projects in the next few years. Then it makes sense, but once we stop and everything's done, do we need a roadmaster? That's a good question. I don't know if we would at
Well,
that
I'm just
point.
thinking about your hiring practice, your interviewing process. If you say, we've got this deluxe job in a wonderful township, but we're just, when you've spent all of the money that we've set aside,
Right.
you're out of here. So.
Yeah, we may
just-
wanna mention that to the person.
You might want to have a
Yes,
strategy before
absolutely.
you,
Give us a little bit of
Interview.
credit, would you?
well, I noticed you.
Just a little.
Just since you were talking about it, I thought if you had any more thoughts on it, you might share. Okay.
Any other comments from the audience?
Just, isn't it a year-to-year, appointed yearly
Yes, it would be,
roadmaster? So there is, I mean, there's already a,
Well, no, I don't know if it's an appointed.
You do appoint a roadmaster yearly.
It could be, and it also
It could be an
a
employee
contract.
too, you know, a public works
Supervisor.
supervisor,
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I think it's an
Depend-
appointment.
I guess if we leave it as a
Just
roadmaster,
like the
yes.
manager is an appointment every year.
Good point, okay. So we'll probably leave it that way, that makes sense.
With this, what we're doing tonight is just authorizing advertisement to get resumes, see where
Okay,
we go.
do you have the position description and will it be posted on the website this week?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry.
Is there a job description?
Yes.
Okay, and is it available?
Still didn't get
It will be.
Yeah, it will be.
Yes.
Okay. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is public comment on non-agenda items. Harriet?
This is two-pronged. I want to ask you all to come out and vote tomorrow. You've got 2 precincts, go to the right one, or if you don't, we'll send you to the right one. The other thing is, Chester County is trying to figure out how to be a little more efficient in voting. To that end, they've given us a whole lot of poll books, 6 of them. I want your help when you leave tonight to move 2 chairs from this side over to about here. We're
You
gonna have,
want a gap
we're
here.
gonna have 3 skinny paths. 1, and another one, 2, and 3 over there. And that way, we're gonna be able to handle more people, with 3 people coming up 3 lines.
Well, instead of skinny paths, why don't we move a row of chairs out so we actually have enough room to go down? the aisle?
Well, this is an experiment. We've got these more books. We're trying to figure out how to use it efficiently. And if,
You're just asking for people's help.
I'm looking for your help.
So if we get it done, it doesn't look right, you can crack the whip and have us do it again.
I'm not too big on the whip cracking, but after we have the morning rush, if it was clumsy, we'll get some voters to help us move chairs around. But anyway, when you leave, that's the request, please.
We'll have some
To help
volunteers stay.
the people who are gonna be coming here at 6 o'clock and 6:30 tomorrow morning to take care of the voters. Okay.
I'm wondering, with Erica being out, and I know that we appointed, Kathy is right to know, is there an interim manager, or who is handling that type of things, or kind of running the office?
Kathy is our liaison to Erica, who has made herself available to us by phone if we need her.
Okay, thanks.
We wanted Mike, but the township wouldn't let us hire him. Any other non-agenda items, folks? Yes, sir.
Just want to report that you're probably aware Jane Lane is washed down again, and it needs to be dug out and the road cleaned up.
Could you send somebody up tomorrow right away? Everett?
Thank you.
Just
I
came
know I
out
don't need
there.
to apologize, but that is,
It's a
we've got
challenge.
to fix that in a hurry. Bear with us until next
But
spring.
it's government, it's not, nothing's in a hurry.
Yes, I heard that, now, do we know when the French Creek Bridge is being started?
They are gonna start on the 12th.
Of November 2018.
Yes,
Which bridge?
the French Creek culvert.
Oh, the culvert, not Music
Yeah.
Bridge, and I'm looking at those other bridges.
Any other last call for non-agenda items? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second motion?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming, folks. Drive careful on the way home. I just want to know one thing. Is Michelle coming back to work tomorrow?
I am, I love you guys, thank you. You'll need some time. Your chair to get
Michelle and.
Tighten it up, tighten it up. One more.
Yes, and I just have one contract for you.
Let me scan it. Do all these figures match up with what they're supposed to be.
So at least those places ignore the
These figures are
So you're happy that someone earlier in your life grew in there, so you don't have a great darkness.
Yes, although, yes. My, I still have family. Well, I don't know.
Thinking about being up there where you may have almost no sun or very little.
I'm ready to start out.
You couldn't pay me up there.
I don't like, I'm not, believe it or not.
I can go and, you know, this place, I don't know, it's all done before. You don't mean to walk. Are you going to the firehouse?
time that we start.
Either that or I'll get
So did I.
They'll give us something to try and get us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's probably always saying.
It is.
More importantly, yeah, unless we start.
It must have affected the war raised how much
No, you know what it does? My son was, remember the last
Okay.
Keep track of time and see how long they
So, can you say he's in the reform and exercise? A friend he did was in the
I know.
My friend got it.
Her son's.
He might be getting a louder.
I'm usually good at Kathy injuries, makes me feel better, because she's an experienced.
Both of you. Was he even aware of normally? Where you should Eric was my go-to person when I got ill this question. I came in very late today and said, sorry about being so late. And now I really know why, there's no response back.
Yes.
In the past, what I did is I shuffled it back to the secretary.
Take my comment back on you.
Was that?
One or two of her.
I knew you would have figured it out.
Because I had to be conversational. And she was giving me one-liners, and that gives you a sense of, okay, this is what it is for
Okay.
response.
Yeah, just email me.
As opposed to, you're going to have to do a right note for that, or, you know, I can't go and answer this or something, you know.
Yeah.
I try to be easy on it, and it also saves them from me asking a whole bunch of questions just to young about this.
Yeah, sure. Just email them.
Okay, but I figure I check for,
Yeah.
and also give you,
Okay.
have a good one.
Okay, thanks.
Jim Durkee.
They asked us to try to clump all of the positions together.
He lives right there
We're gonna get 3 ways
at Jane
to spell
Lane
Harriet
Berkshire.
Stone.
On the
Then
corner.
find
Yeah,
another
so
one.
if you're
We
going
have
out
to
from
break up
Pat Berkshire
set
from
anyway.
here, he's on the
I never left.